What is a really inappropriate question you would like an answer to? Why is it called taking a shit when you were actually leaving a shit? Is there much variety in the taste of different people's vaginas as there is when some people talk about taste of cum? Like different acidities, maybe sweetness, saltiness, depending on eating habits and whatnot. Can you puncture the inside of your asshole with a dildo? Very nervous about bottoming even though it's something I want, and that thought gets me anxious as hell. Lol. What's it like to kill someone? Especially as a soldier in a war. If it changes you, how so? If it didn't, how do that make you feel? Am I allowed to say black when describing a person? Like if there are 3 people all have dark hair, dark eyes, wearing black, and the only way to distinguish easy is the black fellow over there, as in, who do I give my ticket to? I feel uncomfortable saying African American. My step-parent is Jamaican and not African American, and it offends her when people say that. Why are my boobs suddenly bigger but I have gained no weight at all? Edit. No. I am not pregnant. I am currently bleeding and cramping like crazy for all you people just assuming I'm pregnant. Is it inappropriate when your doctor insists on having his nurse take your temperature rectally rather than orally? To refuse? It seems to be embarrassing for both the nurse and patient, even if the reading is, according to the doctor, more accurate. Question to all the men from a man. When you are taking a leak standing, do you take your balls out of your pants or do you leave them in? And #X200B. Personally I do. Asterisk whichever option is more socially acceptable depending on which answer is the more popular one. Asterisk. Women. How often do you have perverted thoughts? If childbirth is so painful and does so much damage to the body, why do you keep having them? Especially when all parents do is complain about how tired, broke or stressed they are. And some even regret having children. When transitioning from female to male, do they get to pick their penis size? Why are there so many gay male flight attendants? Is it because, before they came out, if they have at all, they could fly to another city away from everyone they have ever known and safely have same-sex relationships with no one ever knowing? And I get people being transgender. I understand that you can feel as though you don't fit the gender you were born with. But can someone explain non-binary to me? How does a person not identify as anything? Or is it not nothing, but something other? It's a pretty sensitive subject and I've been pretty afraid to ask. Especially on Reddit. Okay, so a lot of fictional worlds that have werewolves have them able to regenerate wounds. Even things that happened before they were bit. What kind of trauma would a eunuch go through with that first regeneration? Another question asking with as much respect as possible. Does a white dude singing along to rap music that has the N-word constitute as racism? Why do Asian Americans seem to be smarter than the rest of the general American population? I actually have 3. How can a really tall man and a shorter girl have intercourse? I'm talking like 6, 5 and 5, 4. Is losing your virginity going to hurt if you have a thick hymen? Are guys turned off by large areolas? If 4 billion people prayed 1x a day for 2020 years, which comes up to about 2.9 trillion prayers, why is the world so fucked up? Why does the UK government treat its own citizens with such utter contempt? Deuteronomy chapter 22 verses 28 to 29. If a man happens to meet a virgin who is not pledged to be married and rapes her and they are discovered, he shall pay her father 50 shekels of silver. He must marry the young woman. For he has violated her. He can never divorce her as long as he lives. Why do people still call the Bible a holy book after this? Question for trans women who haven't had bottom surgery or cross-dressing men. How on earth do you tuck your dick and where does it go? I've seen bikini pics of women that I know for a fact have a peen, and even in the skimpiest little G-strings I can't see anything. How do you do it? And does it hurt? Do black people smell white people when we walk past? I can usually smell most black people. It's a good smell though. I think skin products. But it seems different than that. I figure white people have a smell too. The other day my family burned an incense and I couldn't help but think, did a black man just pass through here? Thanks for the perspective. I'm attracted to women who were born with all the female anatomical parts. But I am not attracted to cis women. Men who changed sex from man to woman. What's a polite way of saying this? Or using the parlance of political correctness? Do women need pads all the time, even outside the menstruation period? Can someone explain all the different genders? I am so lost. And really don't want to offend anyone. I have a friend who is FTM and I keep calling them by their dead name on accident since I've known them since middle school. He understands it's not on purpose. But does it bug the trans community that people still call them by their old names or refer to them as the wrong gender when it's an accident? Do gay bottoms or other people who like to have anal sex suffer from fissures? What about people who use those super big plugs? I would like to know if gay women are more willing to go down on a woman on her period than hetero, bi men. I'm a man and I honestly don't get why there are so few people willing to do it. I mean, yeah, it doesn't taste as good as other times. You get that iron taste in your mouth. But that's no big deal. Anyway, I am wondering if women who like women are more willing to do it because periods aren't an alien and shameful thing to them like most men treat them. Edit. I realize how angry I sound asking this. Which I am. But I'm also genuinely curious. Why do able-bodied people treat disabled people like we are fucking idiots and social pariahs? Like, why do you infantilize us? And, genuine question here. Why the fuck do you touch our mobility devices? Service dogs. Wheelchairs. Canes. Without fucking asking or get offended when we say no? Do guys not go down on girls that often? I go down about 90% of the time. But girls have told me that it doesn't happen a lot. I just always thought every guy did it. Is this on average? Or just my small sample size of friends? I don't get how to kiss. How far do you put your tongue? Last time I choked her. I don't understand what it means to have a gender identity. I've read about it. I've talked about it. I've tried. I think this might be something missing in me. I understand that I am seen as male and called him. And it does not bother me. But when I sit there and ponder whether I feel male. No. I don't. There's just nothing there. I don't understand what it would mean to feel male. Or female. Or other. Hello Stefan Löfven. Prime Minister of Sweden. Why are you intentionally going against all expert advice? And trying to kill off the Swedish population during this pandemic? Quote. Some people of Indian descent have a very distinctive smell, reminding me of cumin. Would it be their delicious food that's affecting their sweat? Or simply food smell stuck to their clothes, hairs? A couple Indian coworkers, back before home office conditions, would arrive in the morning and you can smell them clearly as they pass behind you. Before you see it's them. So I'm thinking it's their beau that has that cumin, spicy smell to it to be so noticeable even in the Morning? Do flamboyant homosexual and more reserved homosexual groups view each other differently? Do they judge each other? And why do Americans say, filling out a form, when you fill it in? The page is blank and your pen fills it in. When you go do. You were taking the shit in your body to the bathroom. I had a professor in college who would frequently end class with a piece of ridiculous but profound sounding philosophical wisdom. The one I remember best was, remember, real men don't take shits. They leave them. Great. Now every time I hear someone say, I'm gonna take a shit, all I'll be able to picture is them walking into the bathroom, grabbing a turnout of the toilet, stuffing it into their pocket, and then coming back out. Something with a base to it so it won't get stuck up your ass. Since you're male, one of those tube thingies, eggs aka male masturbator sleeve. My first was a bullet vibrator. Cheap and worked wonders. Don't start with the Doc Johnson 18-incher pincher puncher. Something smaller first. Yes. I've not had a lot of sexual partners by some standards. But every one I've tasted is different. Some unbearable. Some rather enjoyable. Yes. It varies from person to person, and also the taste of a person varies somewhat according to a few factors. How much they are turned on, hygiene, etc. Yes, there is. A woman's pH levels are usually altered by the products used around their genital areas, activities, clothing, panties they wear, how often they shower, etc. There are a lot of factors. A person's diet can also dictate the way they taste. Absolutely. It can really vary. And some can be awful, whilst others I could happily munch on all day long. Yes. Though I've been fortunate not to run into any that are any less enjoyable than any others, unlike some of the other replies I'm seeing. Yup. Dated a diabetic and she tasted sweet. But most girls taste different.